Point Trading. Welcome to another episode of what's going on with the market. Gonna get right into it. So today there were some clear signals here. I don't trade, I don't care about news. I don't care about, kind of what's going on with the economy. I think it's very helpful to understand what's going on, but really I like to look for structure. And what I mean by that is today you had a very clear structure going on here, and I'm going to show you here it on the 1 minute time frame here. Okay. So for those of you that know structure, don't know structure, today you had a what? You had your left, you have your head, you had your right shoulder, then you had your bearish pendant right here, okay? And then you cracked right here and you broke down, okay? And I think I have another chart here that shows it. So here's a cleaner chart here, okay? You had your triple top here, okay? You had a failed bullish pendant breakdown. You had a triple top as well, like I just mentioned. He had another head and shoulders here, left, head, right. He had another head and shoulders here, okay? And then you had on top of that a triple top as well, okay? You also had a wickless candle for those of you that like wickless candle strategies. You had a wickless candle here that filled, that was left open here on Monday at 10:30 in the morning, that filled here the very next day, okay? If you're new to the channel, check out the Discord here. There's a lot of different signals that I give. There's a lot of different things that I provide for our members. These are some of my plays here that I call out here in real time. Okay. On Monday, candidly, I did call out here XPX calls that can be verified here. I said here at, stick with me here. I said here at, I called out NQ longs, and then I called out here, where is it at here? I called out here, I grabbed next day XPX calls at $7.05. I'm targeting 69.80. It's extra dangerous, just kind of given the volatility that we were surrounding. Not even, 1 hour later, we're up $650. About 2 hours later, we're up $1,500. Close a trade for a very big day. A lot of people made money. And so anyways, kind of going back to the chart here, if you take a look at the cues, that's kind of what we have going on here. We've been trading in a range for quite some time here. We just can't seem to get over this hump here. Really the concerning part, and a lot of things that people aren't mentioning are they keep talking about how the earnings are great, how software is great, and all these different things are great. One day software is bad, then it's good, and the earnings for some of these companies are really strong. They're showing no slowdown of the economy. I don't pay attention to any of that. I just pay attention to the charts, because if you start listening to 10,000 other people posting different stats and things like that every day, you're never going to make a trade. I use a few different strategies here in order to make really good executions and trades. But really what you're looking at here is you can't get over this wall. So initially, right, when you're trading with the Qs, right, your wall was up here, you couldn't break it, you crashed down. Your next wall was right here, you couldn't break it, you crashed down. Do you see how you're sloping down now? So like here was your initial wall, here's your initial wall, and now here is your next initial wall here, right? Okay. So where am I going with this, right? Do I know that our next initial wall is maybe going to be like, maybe right here? I can't tell you the future, but I can tell you what the charts show me. Yes, right? And so when we go here on a daily time frame here, and I'm using the NASDAQ because that is allegedly what's supposed to lead the market, even though the SPX has been leading the market for quite some time here. Right now, I see a possible falling three, bearish reversal. It's not clean, but right here, you're kind of on your neckline. And if you remember one of my last videos here, I'll show you here in a second. Stick with me, guys. This is really important information. If you look at the chart here, right, on a daily time frame here, I've told you guys time and time again, obviously when you're going nowhere, but you're in your make or break zone. Right here is your critical level, right? So if you just go to any stock, any ticker right now, this is why you should follow me. Any stock, any ticker right now, you can't unsee it, right? Go here. You're on your neckline, market, okay? Any stock, I'll pick any random stock right here. I'll just pick a random stock, Adobe, right? Guess what? You're on your neckline. literally critical support, right? Go to a random stock, right here. I was just on here, right here. UNH, okay? On your neckline, right here, okay? Nvidia or Amazon, on your neckline of support, okay? Nvidia, on your neckline of support, and obviously your neck support's here, okay? You also have a head and shoulders on Nvidia, left, head. Here's your right shoulder. This kind of looks like a bearish reversal right here if you actually kind of look at it, right? So kind of have your falling three. Again, I know it's not perfect, right? But I'm just kind of looking at the pattern. You have your bar here. Then you have your bars here all the way down. Okay. Then you have your kind of bar up here. So you have the falling three. So you have your bar, right? Come down, come back up. This is your make or break zone kind of right here. You're either going to rip past it and it's a bullish reversal, or you're going to rip down and it's a bearish reversal. It's very clean, a very easy trade. Obviously, if you break up here, it's not bearish, right? But then that's not to say, right, you're still in a head and shoulders. So, right, you can, in your head and shoulders, you can have a rising wedge here. What do rising wedges look like? Rising wedges can look like this. Again, it doesn't have to fall within the lines. I chart and I draw my lines a bit differently. I try to draw them from an unbiased perspective. So your rising wedge can kind of look like this. So obviously you're in it, broke down, right? You can still be in it. You can still grind, even break it. So sort of like futures, what I tell people when you're in a trade and right, you have a head and shoulders, there's no reason to like short right here, right? If you have just a clean head and shoulders in the market, which it never does almost anymore, you just break down. That's cool. That's awesome, right? Sure, you could have shorted here, right? But what could you have also done, right? You could have rose all the way up here just to break your head and shoulders. So I'm a big fan of hedging in this market. You almost have to, right? Because you pass gas and that, the market goes up because Trump said, the market's great even though everyone's broke and cars are getting repossessed. And the list kind of goes on. So kind of looking at NVIDIA here, obviously we have a massive head and shoulders here on all time frames. Really, you're going nowhere. And again, you could also argue you have a very big bearish pendant here. I wouldn't consider this broken out of yet. You're still in your bearish pendant here. People forget how long and how big these pendants can get just to come down here. Again, and this is your right shoulder right here. People are like, oh, your left shoulder's here, your head's up here, and then why do you have a baby shoulder? There's no clean pattern. Patterns are ever changing, and that's what you need to change out of your mind. Okay, so here's your right shoulder right here. This right here is all liquidity. Just think about that. Liquidity is you. All this money, buying, selling, suppressed here. That's what this is. Okay, so there's going to be a massive move here. Okay, regardless. Taking a look at some other stocks here. And I actually really want to show you guys something here real quick. This is going to blow your minds. It really is going to blow your mind. So, if you're thinking about getting off the chart or excuse me, getting off the video, just watch this one portion of the video here. It's going to blow your minds. And I really want people to understand this concept here. Okay. So I'm going to go to all these different tickers here. Again, stick with me here at this part. And I'm getting really, I'm like beat down. I'm really tired here. So I'm trying to just get through this video here before I pass out. It's going to blow your minds. Okay. Got NVIDIA. No, I want MSTR. So if you just go to some of these charts here, guys, go to I'm going to go to the weekly time frame on all of them. Okay. Check this out. This is going to blow your minds. Okay. So when people talk about rotation and all these other things, I don't care. I really don't. I just don't give a fuck. What nobody's pointing out is that they're just circle jerking you around, and when you see it, you can't unsee it. Okay. Oh, I need to go to the 1 week here. So, and this is where traders get trapped. Okay. So all they're doing here, guys, is just, you could say, oh, obviously, but it's not obvious because, you know, you'd be a millionaire, right? You want to be working your job, right? So just be honest with yourself, okay? So what they're doing here, and I find this fascinating. So Monday, September 8th, that's where you cracked, okay? You cracked here on Monday, September 8th, okay? Here, Monday, November 21st. I'm gonna mark it here, okay? You cracked here basically November 21st of 2021, okay? Right here, you cracked here on essentially November 2021. Oop. Okay, for target. You cracked here on MSTR November 2024. Okay. You cracked here on Palantir November 2025. Okay. You cracked here on Nike of November 2021. What I'm not getting at is you're cracking in November, but I do find that kind of fascinating here, right? Do you guys find that fascinating? I hope you do. And actually, if you want to be technical, it wasn't, you didn't crack here. I got this wrong. You cracked officially here, and what I consider a crack is where you're actually heading down, right? Because you went up, you came down, you came back up here. You cracked in October 2025. Obviously, I'm on a weekly time frame. It could show November. It doesn't matter. It's besides the point here. What I'm getting at here is all they're doing is fooling you. So the trader that's like, oh, you know, Adobe's 50% off, you know, it's a really good buy. Well, what were people saying back then? It's a really good buy. It's, you know, 20% off. You know, we should be going up to $10,000, right? It's at $699. Oh, look, it's a discount. It's, you know, $565. Okay. So for essentially, and this is crazy. So for basically since here to now, for 1,736 days, you've gone nowhere. In fact, you've gone down. So how's that for a discount, buddy? Right? Here on Oracle, oh my gosh, it's so discounted and, you know, everything's amazing. And, you know, again, where have you gone for almost half a year? Nowhere, down, okay? Oh my gosh, Nike, you know, the leggings, we gotta have them. The girls' butts look really good in spandex. I think my girlfriend looks hot in them. Not, right? Again, for 1,522 days, 41 days, you've gone nowhere. You see where I'm getting at, guys? Half these stocks should have never been up there from the get-go, but yet they were. And the mistake that traders make is they keep saying this thing where it's like, oh, this stock is discounted, this stock is discounted, this stock is discounted. I'm going to go buy here, I'm going to go buy here. And then you're going to have somebody in the comments say, well, hey, guess what, dude? Palantir's up 11% today. I made like $2,000. Okay. So then where were you, right, when it came all the way down here? Another $80,000 is my point. So you're going to get your dead account bounces, okay? You're going to get your oversold bounces, Nike, right? Right here. You're going to get your oversold bounces. You're going to get your buyer stepping in here, pushing price up just to rip you back down. Does that make sense? Here in Target. And what I find fascinating is so many names here from 2021 all corresponded. They never recovered. Adobe never recovered. Target never recovered. You have Nike up here, never recovered, right? There's several more stocks here that never recovered, right? And, right, if I click here on UNH here for a second, it's the other story. Oh, well, you know, they had the scandals and they had this and they had that, and you're missing the point, guys, right? You can always say news is affecting this or that and the economy is affecting this or that. We can talk about that. But what I want us to focus on is just looking at the charts here. Did any of you, any one of you, right? Did you guys pull up 6 of these different charts and just start looking at them like I just did? If the answer is no, then just shut the fuck up, okay? Just like learn something for once, you know, like just shut the fuck up, you know? And that's with all like due respect, right? So again, here, again, what I find fascinating, guys, is I wasn't even gonna hone in on it. Is it odd that a lot of these stocks just seem to go down in November and then just continue to go down? Am I saying that's what's gonna happen forever for all these stocks? No. But that's really something you should be cognizant of, right? Let's go to SMCI here. I'm very curious what month it just happened to go down in. Okay, March, fine. So you had March, and everyone's like, oh, you know, we're going back up. You know, this is awesome. This is awesome. This is awesome. This is awesome. No. Okay. So all they're doing is selling, right? You, the shares, on the way down. All these charts show you, okay, buy, 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 sell. Market hedgers, smart money is doing what? Selling all the way down. And you're saying here, oh, I think we're going up. I think we're going up. I think we're going up, right? But they're just offloading their shares happily to you because you think it's a really good discount because it's 50% off of all-time highs. Okay. Oh, well, Netflix and, you know, streaming, and I really like the Stranger Things. And I'm like, okay, so how's that working out for you? Right? I mean, seriously, guys, I want you to look at these charts and tell me, do you find this fascinating? And if you don't, why? I want to hear in the comments, why don't you find this fascinating? And if you do, what did you learn? So just on your own time, I don't want to get too much into it. I'm just trying to show you guys. There's a lot of different ways to kind of observe the market. You don't need news. You don't need like any of these different ancillary things. All you need to do is pull up the chart yourself and look at it, right? And that in itself is going to make you very successful as a trader to identify very simple and basic things like this. Okay, like should Target have ever been up here? No. Should Netflix have ever been at 1400? No. You're gonna have people say yes. Should Palantir have ever been up here? No. Okay. Should MicroStrategy have ever been up here? No. Okay. Oracle? No. Right. And then the cat comes out, then the cat comes out of the bag. Oh, you know, we're kind of having some issues. We want to refinance our debt. We want to do this. We want to do that. Oh, so you basically lied. Great. And one thing that I really want to like pay attention to like a lot of these stocks is when you go to like Tesla, for an example, like I'm convinced, and I'm going to have a lot of haters come after me, maybe even the CEOs themselves. I doubt it. They got better things to do than listen to some dummy over here like me. All right. I'm convinced that these guys are just winking these like ER calls and lying. Okay. Because when was the semi truck for Tesla going to come out? Like years ago. When was the Roadster going to come out? Like years ago. He even said he was going to put out a flying car at the end of the year. That didn't happen. Oh, okay. Now we're doing SpaceX to save our company because like that's all we got. So we're going to do all these different acquisitions and all these different things. Okay. So how I kind of view the market right now is you just have a bunch of people lying, making false promises. And it's kind of like an investor meeting. I've been scammed out of money before, right? I invest in some of these companies. I'm promised this, I'm promised that. They say they're going to do this, they say they're going to do that, and then nothing happens, right? So that's the problem I've been having. Like I just feel like I'm being told one thing, and then it's like, oh well, you know, we're changing this, we're changing that. Kind of like Meta. Like how many different things has Meta done? Ray-Ban glasses, great. Okay, so now we're like a $80 billion company. Oh, you guys do ads. Okay, how many other companies do ads? Quite a few. Okay. So, like, the way I kind of think about the market is like what they're doing with a lot of these ER calls is like they're just stringing you along as an investor. And what does that mean? To me, stringing you along means okay, so we know that we're maybe tight on cash or not tight on cash, or we know like Nvidia ginseng, you know, we want to sell all our shares like $1 billion a day. And what I feel like is what they're doing is it's like when you pay a contractor, you know, to do some concrete work, right? You pay them typically up front. Well, what happens when you pay a contractor up front? Excuse me, you don't pay them up front. You usually pay like a half deposit and then sometimes you even pay them. You pay them like when the work is done. So what's happened with all these companies is they've gone very lazy, and I could argue not even innovative. Okay, great. I'm glad you're making all this money, Nvidia. I'm glad you're making all this money, Tesla. I'm glad you're making all this money, Micron. Like Micron, I'm glad you're making all this money. So what the fuck were you doing from 2006 to now? Oh, well, no. What were you doing from here to here? And now I'm just supposed to buy you. Like, you're high. You are so high. Okay, Nvidia. Oh, we have all these chips that everybody needs, and, AI, bro. So, like, with the way these guys talk about AI, you think that, like, we'd be in flying cars with all this money that these guys have. All these CEOs selling millions of shares per day. So what were you doing from 1999 to now? Oh, great, you have a few chips. Congratulations. Now you're $4 trillion. Now you're $4 trillion. Okay. Intel. So all of a sudden, right, the market decided, that Intel was great because President Trump decided to tweet that they're going to do some stuff with Intel. So Intel just rockets off, right? So what I'm highlighting here, guys, is this market has turned from like actually just being right. It's always irrational. It's never normal to like, it's just like, it's a word salad. So what I'm getting at here is like, imagine, there's two scenarios. So I don't pay the contractor, okay, until the work is done. So, right, he's going to do the work. My concrete, right, is like, I'm paying him when the house is done. So I have my house that's built, right? I'm going to give the contractor now money, okay? I have a product here. What the market has turned into is now you're paying the contractor all the money up front, right? And if you watch like a lot of those scam videos online where people pay contractors, there's like Rob Warchek in Detroit, Michigan. By the way, check him out. He has hilarious videos. What the market's turned into is you pay the contractor for the work, and instead of getting the house, right, and maybe you've experienced this yourself, you get like you get the frame of the house. Okay, so I have the frame of the house here, but I paid you all this money. Where the fuck is the product? Where the fuck did all the money go? Oh, I'm just working on it. Okay, so 5 months goes by. I gave you all this money, right? Okay, now I have a window. Okay, another 5 months goes by. I gave you all this money. I have another thing. Oh, we need more money. The project is more expensive than we thought. Okay, so a year has fucking passed, right? And I gave you all this. I gave you more money, right? And like what I'm getting at, guys, is what literally has happened with all these companies. You guys can do your own research. You guys can be your own judge here. What these companies have done is no different from shady and shoddy contractors. And Tesla's a good example. We're going to do this. Never mind. We're going to do this. Okay, 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 we're going to do this. And when you call them out, right, like Sam Altman, they just get fucking crazy, like psychotic. Oh, fuck you, I got money, and you're a piece of shit, and don't even invest in my company. We don't fucking want investors like you. Like, okay, Mr. Gaslight. Right? So, and then, right, headline. Okay, we actually are working on the semis. Okay, we actually are working on this. Okay, we actually are working on that. Well, congratulations, dude. I thought you were working on this 5 years ago. Now 5 years have passed, and like nothing's been done. It's like a disorganized company, right? So you have all these goals as a manager, but because you're working on 18 different things, nothing gets done. So to kind of recap this, what these companies are doing is they're stringing you along, right? What were you doing all this time, losing money? and you just had a crappy quarter, you're still losing money. But hey, the White House backs us. We're gonna try to do all these things. We're gonna try to like do all this stuff here in the near future. So why am I paying forward for what you promised back then? Now, like, what's gonna change here? What's gonna change with these companies? Okay, what are you gonna do differently this time? Because you keep saying you're gonna do something, but you're not doing it, right? And then you go to a Sandus, you have all these people online saying, "Oh well, Micron, all the demand, and I don't care. Listen to ER calls, and the CEO said they're gonna raise prices." Okay, cool. So at a certain point, what people don't realize is that like you have a lot of the same companies, similar companies, and they're all gonna get phased out, right? You're basically gonna have like one big giant corporate company that's gonna take up most of the space, okay? And then what's gonna happen to other companies? Because there's such a large demand for memory right now, so that's why we're going up allegedly, right? And who makes all these stats? They do. Oh, we have such a demand, we're completely booked out, and like these companies haven't gotten caught lying before. It's like you just Google online sometimes, like all these lawsuits and this and that. And I blame the investors. I don't know why investors try to sue these companies. It's their fault for not doing their own due diligence and research. Like, why would you buy it at all-time high right here? You're crazy, right? So what you have here is like all these companies, right? They're saying all these different things. Oh, we're going to raise our prices. Okay, so we go up here on the stock. Oh, we're sold out, so we're going to go up here on the stock. And then it comes to find out, right, months or years later, after you pay them, before any of the work is done, oh, wait, so things aren't working out like we thought it was. Sorry, guys. But hey, you know what? We bought a private jet. We cashed out all our shares. And now we're filthy fucking rich. So fuck y'all. Okay? Like, I really want to, like, like, what? It's just crazy, man. Like, what people don't fucking understand is, like, you have some of these companies, they just say stuff. I'm like, I get that they have a physical product to show, right? They have a I should do a P for that. They have a physical product to show. I get that, but all they're doing is no different from like an investor pitch, right? So if I'm trying to sell you a service, like, hey, sign up for the Discord, right? All I'm gonna do is put together a slide deck and say, hey, this is what I've done. This is what I've done, right? This is what I've done, right? Pay me. This is what I've done, right? And then sometimes what happens with all these groups is, yeah, you did great. My video got cut out. But what I was saying was, like, what happens at a certain point is, like, right, what you did in the past, that's awesome. So now you're presenting something as in, like, pay me for the future, right? Pay me for the future. But things have changed. You're not producing what you said you were going to do. You made me, as a Discord member, $10,000, okay? But now you're losing me money, okay? And so now it's turned into kind of like this model where it's like, pay me for what I said I'm going to do in the past, right? Pay me for the memory because it's never going to go down, even though it is, just like the chart here, right? Like at a certain point, the demand's going to go. And people are acting like consumers, right, are the ones buying all the stuff, this and that and this and that. So the median household income in America is $57,000. You got groceries, you got car bills, you got phone bills. Fuck it, you can't go on a vacation. And what people forget is you also have inflation, you have tariffs, then you have appreciation on cost. Okay? So people forget that, just like the stock market, I'm trying to flip money. So if I buy a pair of smelly shoes here for $50 and you're too broke to afford the shoes for $100 at Nike, I'm going to try to make money selling it to you. So there's also like a cost of capitalism that's not like really factored into the economy, right? People were always trying to flip things. People were hustlers, right? So I'm just tired of these companies kind of lying. They're on ER calls lying, and we're paying them forward for the future. But a lot of these companies have gone nowhere and done nothing in the past. So congratulations. After basically an entire billion years and basically a few months, now you're doing all these insane things, and now you have all this demand, right? George Soros said it best: sell into the bubble and let these suckers buy all the way down. And that's what you see here. Is Micron going to end up like another Oracle? Most likely. thought we were never going down here. And maybe a few months later, right, you're going to be down here. It's a good buying opportunity. And you can come up here, not saying you can't. And yeah, maybe things change. Maybe they actually do what they're going to say, right? But more often than not, what you see is these charts like Micron end up like just like Target, right? Oh, it's Target. It's not the same. Okay, keep telling yourself that, right? All these charts end up the same, right? All these charts, oh, it's a discount. Okay, keep telling yourself that, right? Oh, well, you're comparing technology and apparel. It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter, okay? Oh my goodness, it's like, okay, so then what about CRM? Well, nobody likes software because AI is replacing it, but it hasn't, right? What about sound? You have a company here that literally just does like sounds. I can tell you this company is going to get replaced, okay? Oh, why is it? It's going to recover. It's a... Cool. Yeah. This is going to go nowhere. I'm telling you that right now. And then it's going to do this, maybe this. Oh, he was wrong. No, I'm not. Okay. So I want you to take a look at all these stocks here. Circle. You just have all these stocks that are getting hockey sticks and going parabolic just to come all the way down here. It's a good buying opportunity. Tires. Okay, whatever, man. AMD, it's, okay. So you did nothing for all this time. Okay. And now we just take off because someone says AI and chatbots and, memory and chips and we need demand. And who the fuck needs it? We don't need shit. We were doing fine with our shitty Microsoft computers and Apple products. So what? Now you're going to make chips that vibrate my balls? Because, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you better be making chips that give me, like, a really good, like, hand job, right? Because why am I buying and why do I care about chips from Intel, chips from AMD, when there's already Microsoft, when Apple already had their phones? I'm being fucking serious, guys. Stick with me here, right? I'm trying to be crude because I'm making a point. You have all these semis, right? How many semis are going to make it, right? How many customers can you possibly get? It's like we're acting like there's an infinite amount of customers out there. So the only way that these companies are going to be able to make money is if they build their chips like Apple to break down over time like their phones. Buy the new chip, buy the new chip. Well, at a certain point, these companies who are maybe buying the chips are going to be like, dude, why the fuck am I paying like $20,000 for your fucking chips just to implode in 1 year? Fuck that. Get me a different product or I'm going to go back to maybe what I was originally using. Right? So, that's kind of where I'm at with the market. I mean, like, this just looks like retarded. I mean, come on, man. Like, this is going to come all the way back down here, and everyone's going to say it's a good buying opportunity. Then it's going to come back down here, maybe even down here to 38. I don't know, but I'm telling you what's going to happen. I don't have an exact level here, but I am going to tell you it's going to come down. You're going to have people that are going to be buying. It's a good opportunity down. It's a good buying opportunity down. Good buying opportunity down. Good buying opportunity down. Right? Half these companies should have never been up there in the first place. Carvana. Right? Snow, 400. 380. 280. Now we're at 182. It's a good buying opportunity. Okay, whatever, man. Left, head, right shoulder, breakdown. Okay. Arm. 180. 180. Okay, now we're at 110. Oversold. Decent ER. They said they're going to do all these things. So now we're going back up. Awesome. Cool. Good to know. Should have been doing it in the first place. Right? I mean, the list goes on, guys. All these stocks, all these banks, all these different companies. They're saying they're going to do one thing. They barely beat expectations. So you made 3.1 billion and you're expected to make 3.0. Holy crap. Wow, I'm really just fucking blown away, guys. And like what people aren't understanding is like the bigger these ERs get, the bigger they beat, the harder it is to beat. And that's what you saw with Microsoft. I told people this, right? Just go to Microsoft, right? If you want to be like, okay, well, here's a legitimate company that's tech, look at Microsoft. Don't even think about like technicals, just look at it, right? They did no different here than any of the other charts that I showed you at the beginning. So now you're back down here. Oh, it's a good buying opportunity. It's a good buying opportunity. It's a good buying opportunity. Whatever, man. Just whatever, dude. You know? It's the same thing over and over again. You go to all these stocks. It's a good buying opportunity. Okay. And could it break out here? Sure. Okay. So, to recap here, I'm just tired. You're in this range here. You can't reject here. I think that you're going to come back down here to 580, possibly the next month or so. You have all these companies that are providing lackluster earnings despite them saying that they're providing good earnings. And my bottom line is, where are you going to get the money from? Okay, cool. Rate cuts, even though the Fed keeps saying they're not going to do rate cuts. Good luck with that strategy and analysis. Just, again, I guess to give not a signal, because obviously none of this is financial advice. This is just education and commentary. Here's your levels for the week for QQQ. Okay. You have here, upper end, 617. Lower end, all the way down here to, believe it or not, where is it at? A 590. And then my full extension target down is 580. Yes, 4 weekly levels, 580. Okay. Currently, right now, you have a head and shoulders on the 30-minute time frame here. I'm on the 8-minute time frame, but it's on the 30-minute as well. So I'm not going to go long, right, until I do what? Until I break the head. The head is right here at 16.77. So I need to break this level right here in order to confirm that this head and shoulders is broken, right? But then what again can your head and shoulders turn into? Okay, so you broke it. What can it turn into? Triple top, just to come down, right? And that's what you're seeing. But this was actually head and shoulders. So, right, head and shoulders here, wick invalidated it, triple top, breakdown. Like, these are the same patterns, guys, right? Some of them are like different and kind of obviously like different ways, but they're really the same. All right. So again, in order for me to go long, we need to break this head right here at 616. That's that level to watch. So you have your high of yesterday. You have your close here today. A good way to trade, a good way I like to take my own plays is, can we hold where we closed? Mark off your pre-market highs, your pre-market lows, your previous day highs, your previous day lows. Okay. Those are significant areas of interest, and go from there. But right now, again, you have a head and shoulders, right? With the bearish pendant, you broke down here. Okay. I'm looking for a close back down here by the end of the week. That's what I'm looking for, right? And again, it depends on the data. I can't tell you what the data is going to say. I don't trade data. I trade charts. So if the charts show me something different, I'll be doing something different. Hollow point out.